The Scottish National Party has ended its power-sharing deal with the Scottish Greens, throwing Humza Yousaf's future as First Minister into doubt. The collapse of the coalition came after Yousaf dropped some of the country's climate targets last week, and now the Scottish Conservatives have confirmed they will lodge a vote of no confidence in the First Minister, which, if it passes, will mean the SNP would have to appoint a new First Minister within 28 days or call an election. Joining me now, the Sunday Times Scotland correspondent John Boothman is with us. Doesn't get much more serious than this, John, right?
Well, it's been an absolutely incredible day in Scottish politics. We all woke up this morning, 7 o'clock. We were told there was an emergency cabinet meeting going on at 8:30. We turned up at 10 o'clock after that to find that the First Minister, Humza Yousaf, had collapsed that deal by the time we got to 12 o'clock, past 12. The Tories had said they would table a vote of no confidence. That's likely to take place next Wednesday. We've all been running about the Parliament all afternoon to find out what all the parties will do about that. We think it's possible that the SNP could lose that vote, that Humza Yousaf could lose it. It might all be down to, and I heard them earlier on TalkTV, Alex Salmond's Alba party, what they decide to do. So it's been a hugely momentous day. The Greens are, well, I don't know if I can use angry words to describe. I mean, they're absolutely furious about all of that. They're enraged. I think they may even join the group of people who are willing to no confidence in Humza Yousaf next week.
Was this all down to, I don't know what the specifics, that, you know, Humza refused to put a windmill on top of everybody's car or something, so therefore they got upset about it and said, oh no, that's not very good, so we're ending our arrangement. I mean, but it was on climate issues that they felt that he'd essentially put the brakes on.
Well, there was two issues, actually. Last week, a number of Scottish Green members took umbrage at the fact that the coalition of the SNP and the Greens had dropped a particular climate change target to reduce emissions in Scotland by 75% by 2030. They were also unhappy that the coalition was not willing explicitly to come out and condemn the Cass report and condemn what was happening with puberty blockers in Scotland. You'll know that Hilary Cass recommended that, by and large, puberty blockers would not be getting used in England and Wales, and they wanted that to be completely opposed in Scotland. The Scottish Government took a more sort of wishy-washy position. They wanted to no confidence the deal, and, well, Humza himself hijacked all of that this morning before the Greens could go and vote on that. He put the deal in the bin today.
And in terms of where this goes next, then, is it possible, despite the fact this deal has fallen apart, the vote of no confidence takes place, but curiously the Greens don't vote for it, because it would hinge really on them?
Well, I'm hearing noises. I've just been down the stairs in the Scottish Parliament building from the Greens. They're going to tell us about 5 o'clock what they're doing, but I'm hearing noises that they are likely to support that vote of no confidence. Hence, as I said earlier, it might be down to the one member of Alex Salmond's party whether or not there's a majority in the Parliament for that vote of confidence. So the story will rumble on from here till next Wednesday.
Yeah, and I wonder what I mean, the Tories, did they have to think twice about this, though, by calling for this? Because, of course, it could end up even worse for the Tories if this goes through, that he has to walk the plank. Either a new leader comes in, they might be somebody who can, you know, garner more support than Mr Yousaf can. So there's that. If it turns out there's got to be a full-blown election, then who knows what might happen. But, you know, the last thing the Tories want to do is let the Labour Party in, which is, some would suggest, is the most likely outcome.
Well, in Scotland, you see the landscape's a wee bit different, and I'm not quite sure about that last statement you've seen, because over the piece, in the past few years in particular, the SNP having been in power since 2007, the unionist parties in Scotland, Labour, the Conservative and the Liberal Democrats, often work together in opposition to the SNP. So it's a very different landscape. I think the big question in Scottish politics, though, is the state that the SNP are in. We're going into this general election. The SNP won 48 of the 59 seats the last time. The latest polls are talking about them being reduced to something like 18, and they are in deep trouble. SNP MPs have been very unhappy about this Green deal in particular. They're unhappy the Greens are standing in lots of constituencies at the election, which might they might lose some votes to some people in the Greens. So the big priority for the opposition parties in Scotland, Labour, the Conservatives and the Liberal Democrats, is really to target the SNP. And if they can target the SNP and the SNP come second at the general election in Scotland, then that question of independence goes further down the agenda.
Indeed, but it would seem, based on polling, that the leader of the Scottish Government would turn red. Would that be fair? We've only got 10 seconds, John.
Well, we'll have to wait to 2026 for this, but I think it's fair to say that the SNPs are in a really bad place.
Yeah, indeed. Thank you. We will speak again, I'm sure, over the next couple of days.